All right. So, black, white, super friends. This is a deck we've actually played a bunch on stream. It's fine. We've 3-2'd and 4-1 with it a number of times in the past. Basically, the question you have to ask yourself about this deck and whatever matchup you're playing is, does Damnation and Wrath of God have a text box? If it does, the matchup's probably going to be okay for us. There are a lot of matches in Modern, however, where those sweepers don't really do anything. And in the matches where your sweeper effects aren't aces, this deck tends to struggle. So we're hoping to run into more creature-based decks, you know, things like elves, humans, the different various tribes, basically. Hey, Atsu Energy, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think Stoneforge Mystic would actually make it playable. I don't think it would make it tier 1 by any means, but I think it would increase the power level to set the bar low. I mean, this hand needs to draw lands to be reasonable. Yeah, the Pack Rat deck got slaughtered by some Modern decks. Anybody playing Thoughtseize is probably an okay matchup for us. Our deck has a ton of Planeswalkers and Lingering Souls in it, both of which are cards that tend to be good against people playing discard spells. So for opponents playing anything remotely fair, yeah, Jun's probably a decent matchup. Need more souls, man. Need more souls. Okay, Wrath of God text box confirmed. Damnation's gonna do the thing. It'll be wonderful. See which Liliana they have here. Liliana the Veil, obviously not a big deal because we have Lingering Souls. Liliana the Last Hope would be annoying. They have something else entirely. Charler's Tracker maybe. Scavengling Ooze, sure. So we'll go ahead and send this on a path. So we can Lingering Souls and not get the back half eaten. Well, they just fetched Karn Liberated, so they could have played a Liliana there with the fetch land if they wanted to. Tape Bears, a decent deck to step back into Modern with. I do not think Tape Bears is a good Modern deck. I think the average card quality in that archetype is incredibly low, and the cards that it plays aren't efficient enough to interact with a lot of what's going on in Modern. Double block here. So, they know about this Damnation. So I think I'm actually just going to be happy and 1-for-1 the damn... God, are they going to Lightning Bolt one of these tokens? Please Lightning Bolt one of these tokens. Fatal Push, sure. So I'm really happy to Damnation these two things. And then, like, we've played the sweeper out that they know about. So that way, hopefully, if they have multiple creatures here, they'll just run those out into the Wrath of God. The Pack Rat League went very poorly, or as I like to call it, as expected. Can someone explain the difference between Modern and Standard? So the big difference between Modern and Standard is that Standard has a rotation that happens once per year, whereas Modern is one of Magic's many non-rotating formats. So basically, Modern is a format that only gets bigger as time goes on. So every time a new Magic set is printed, it becomes legal in Modern, just like it becomes legal in Standard. But Modern never loses Magic sets. So Magic currently encompasses, I forget how far back 8th edition goes. It's like a decade and a half or so, I believe. Eighth edition was 2013, so yeah, 15 years. Look at that. It's a long time. Long time coming. There are not a lot of basics in this deck. Not a lot of basics, chap. Sweet. He was playing the Thing Phoenix deck, right? I'm legitimately considering building Narset Cannon in paper. Talk me out of it. I mean, I'd never talk anybody out of having that much fun. Stevens has more viewers because I'm playing Modern on Magic Online. And Stevens is playing Standard on Magic Arena, which is far more popular than Modern on Magic Online. There's also the very likely chance that a lot of Stevens' regular viewers that he lost a lot of Modern people with the despicable things that he did. But let's not get into that here. So I just want to bring in all the threats, I think. They're probably going to trim most of their removal. Generally speaking, you want to trim the discard spells in this matchup because this matchup generally comes down to being able to impact the board and draw. While discard spells feel really good on turn 1, when your opponent has a Tarmogoyf in play and you draw an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize, when you need a removal spell, it feels really bad. Yes, yeah. Modern is exactly like Pokemon's expanded format. I played a little bit of Pokemon. So if you go to my articles here and take a peek at my Elf Primer from last month or the month before, I talk about things like why Nettle Sentinel is bad in Elves, in my opinion. Yep. I see it needs to draw some lands, but it's got some good spells in it. The king's back, baby. King Kitty in the house. Do 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 do. Definitely gonna just go ahead and push this Dorko off a cliff here. Don't want Bob sitting around drawing them a bunch of cards. Just boop him on the nose. Drew both our third land and our second white source here for King Kitty. Building a paper Magic deck is more expensive in Modern or Standard. Far more expensive in Modern. So there's a lot of cards in Modern that haven't been printed in a very long time that have high collector values. So if they play Liliana in the Veil, I'll be really sad here, but King Kitty lines up pretty well against most other things they can do here, especially with Anguished Unmaking in her hand to remove a potential blocker. Yeah, the Training Rat deck was pretty bad. Yeah, Magic cards don't really go down in price. That's not a thing that happens. So, once a card gets expensive, it stays expensive, basically. No, when they reprint cards that are popular in Modern, they often do so with very limited print runs in ways that make it so it doesn't actually impact the price of the card. Wizards of the Coast would greatly prefer people play formats like Standard rather than Modern, so they usually try to make Modern pretty inaccessible through secondary market prices. If Wizards wanted Modern to be accessible for players, they would print things like UMA with booster packs that cost $4 instead of booster packs that cost $14. Go ahead and chump block here. Next turn, we'll have Field of Ruin up to keep the Raging Ravine in check. Yep, and part of the problem is, like, the frequency at which Wizards does reprints for Modern and the amount they price those booster packs at, they basically balance it so new players get into Modern with slightly cheaper cards, but then the demand goes up similar to how the supply is going up, which makes it so it effectively doesn't have it doesn't actually change anything in the long term. You have a Tarmogoyf. Just gonna go ahead and unmaking this Tarmogoyf here. Sweepers are a touch awkward. Oh, that's a good one, yeah. That's a real good one. Ob Nixilis and I, we go way back. We go way back. And this honestly, like, this matchup here is like such a cookie cutter great example of like why I had to stop registering things like green black in Modern and Jund. Just like, there's gonna be someone playing a deck like this that's really clunky against a lot of things in Modern, but man, did we bring a bunch of awesome planeswalkers that are just gonna dumpster Jund into the ground. Yeah, I played Abzan Seasons Past in Standard. I top 8'd the Orlando Open back in 2016 with that. Yeah, Bobby Nixilis and I, we go way back. He's a good dude. How are we doing, folks? Good evening. Welcome. Maybe have a few folks join us from the Open. Had it spike up. People said that ended. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. I'm streaming here on Sunday for a while because I'm going to be gone next weekend at the SCG Invitational. So I'm going to be doing a little bit extra for the next couple of days. I leave Thursday morning for that. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the people that keep me employed here full time. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. By subscribing, you can also support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com. We'll have to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal and check out with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. Are you someone that thinks you'll always find the best possible line while you play Magic the Gathering? Why don't you put your skills to the test? Send it over to PossibilityStorm.com and find over 80 Magic the Gathering puzzles there with them. They post new puzzles every week of varying difficulty. CoolStuffInc.com. Buy and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles using promo code Jeff5. You can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, Warhammer, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, you probably hear my wonderful shuffling deck here. My shuffling deck is protected by none other than my BCW Elite Guard sleeves. Using code Jeff10 at BCWSupplies.com, you can save 10% on your orders of sleeves, deck box, and all sorts of other fantastical stuff there with them. We've got our second match just popped with this black-white Super Friends mid-range control, whatever you want to call this smorgasbord. Head on in here. Seems pretty reasonable. We've got Gideon plus Lingering Souls to grind out a fair deck, and we've got Fatal Push to interact with something that might be a little bit faster. Street Wraith, Wooded Foothills, probably Traverse Shadow with the Wooded Foothills there. Dealer's choice, probably Gideon. It could be Fatal Push if they have another discard spell, though. Gideon's effectively soft removal and a threat to boot. Lingering Souls is generally incredibly good in matches like this. Buys us a lot of time. The opponent's deck occasionally plays a card like Teamer Battle Rage to let them trample over Lingering Souls, but they don't find that card. Lingering Souls will often buy us enough time to win most games. Some of these Traverse Shadow decks feature Stubborn Denial, and if they play Stubborn Denial, it'll probably make things a lot harder for us, but if they don't play Stubborn Denial, oh, they're just Hallowed One. Maybe? They could be Hallowed One. Nez, thanks for the host. Welcome to folks coming over from there. Hanging out playing some Modern tonight. The Pat! With the 12-month resubscription, I knight thee, Defender of the Realm. Pick up your sword and shield and defend us from Twitch chat. It looks like Grixis Hollow Bird. Got a Thought Scour over there. They could be. I wonder if there's Death Shadows in there too. Street Wraith could signify Death Shadow. Well, that's not one we can Fatal Push. Things that are fatal pushable, not that. You feel about the Is It Phoenix deck that Merriam went with? I have not seen Merriam's list. Yeah, we're gonna have some time here. The good news is, well, I guess they showed us Thought Scour, right? So there's blue cards in their deck somewhere. So there is a chance that they have Stubborn Denial, but if they don't find a Stubborn Denial before we find a removal spell, we've got a lot of ways to take this fish off the table. So we'll chump block here. Next turn we'll go tapped land, Lingering Souls, then we can start double flashing back, etc. Block early, block often, chat. When possible, you definitely want to start chump blocking before you're dead. They are playing Shadow. Interesting. So casting this Path to Exile is probably going to unlock a lot of their hand. Aduranis, thank you for the 7-month resub. I appreciate that there. Welcome back. So I'm going to Path during their draw step, because this gives them a chance to draw their last basic land. And it also doesn't give them a chance to draw a blue shock and then blue shock into Stubborn Denial my path. I'm not sure how aggressively I want to play out these other Lingering Souls. There's a good chance that I want to hold them back a little bit. Are they not? Are they playing Thought Scour and just not playing a basic island? I wonder if they're just splashing Thought Scour into red-black. Maybe off of Manamorphose and stuff like that. Oh, I think I punted here. I should have left back the Spirit Token. Because now if they put the Arclight Phoenix into play, I'm going to have to chump block both them instead of being able to trade with the Phoenix. Woof. All right, down to 7, which leaves us dead to Teamer Battle Rage. Things that you're always dead to. Teamer Battle Rage. Never not dead to Teamer Battle Rage. Would like to block your things, please. Want to buy a Wrath of God, Wrath of God, Wrath of God. Want to buy a Wrath of God to clean up the board. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, that's things aren't looking good for our hero, chat. That's me, in case you're wondering. I'm the hero. So we've got 2 Damnations, a Wrath of God, and a Cleansing Nova in our deck to clean the board up. So, like, you know, I got 4 hits and 45 cards. Not terrible. Then we drew a land. I'm actually going to go ahead and just flash back 1 and pressure them with the Shambling Vent. I want to get some hits in here, I think. I'm going to go to 1 here because it means if I draw a basic land or a Field of Ruin, I actually kill them on the backswing here. I think that's a worthwhile risk. Yeah, ended up getting punished because that's on top of our deck, but we have way more untapped lands than we do sweepers at that point, right? I think playing scared there and like playing to not die is like incorrect. I think the play to win line is let them hit us, then try and draw a thing. Seems like a Leyline of the Void matchup. Collective Brutality doesn't do a whole ton. Leave my sweepers in, obviously. Baneslayer Angel sounds great. Trim these draw spells that hurt us. Is Anguished Unmaking good enough? It might be. This actually takes their bigger spells, so I'm gonna leave that in there. Convince me to play Hardened Scales or KCI at my last chance qualifier next weekend. I really like Hardened Scales, Trey. I just find if you enjoy the gameplay of KCI, I think it's a fine deck, but I personally find KCI really tedious. I'm gonna keep. Their deck is like full of Thoughtseizes. Like, the problem, and this is one of the things that just like makes playing against even the fair decks in Modern kind of miserable, is that like you don't make your hand better against the Thoughtseize deck by mulliganing. Like, they're just gonna like, you mulligan to a 6 that has like a good card in it, they just like punch you in the face and take your good card away anyways. So you might as well just keep like any hand that has lands and spells and like hope your good spells are on top of your deck. It's so good, Nyan. Even if you don't play Grishelbrand, I would heavily encourage you to play something that's very proactive. Playing proactive Magic is just like therapeutic. And you get time for lunch breaks, which is just an A+ edition. Look at that, chat. They punched me in the face. It's almost like I'm psychic. It's almost like I know things. I know things. Nice Thoughtseize. It's a little chilly in my basement, chat. Put my sweater back on. It's a feature, not a bug, right? It's a shock plus play a Gurmag Angler. Dr. Peasy. Dr. Dre says. Do. It's almost therapeutic. Jeez. Their stub wasn't even hard, chat. They gave us that soft stubby D. The opponent likely isn't playing Pyromancer in their main deck. I guess they could be with the cantrips. I've seen a lot of the decks similar to the opponents that boards in Young Pyromancer for extra threat density. So we're looking to dodge Looking to dodge Thoughtseize here so they don't take our Damnation away. I liked playing the Sorin into the Stubborn Denial there because that way they can't Stubborn Denial the Damnation later if they play like a double threat. I'm taking this hit here even though I'm likely to Damnation next turn, because if I trade my token there, it kind of telegraphs that I have a sweeper. Whereas if I take the hit, it's less likely to mean that I do, I think. I'm casting this Damnation pre-combat, because if my opponent has another Stubborn Denial, I want these spirits back to chump block. I don't think getting the 2 points of damage in there is worth the amount of damage I'm going to take on the backswing if they have the Stubborn Denial. And now they know about this Anguished Unmaking. They saw it when they Thoughtseized us. Hey, Colin. Thanks for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Again, doing this now so they can't draw Stubborn Denial. Just because your card's an instant doesn't mean you have to play it on their turn. Make sure your spells resolve, chap. Howdy, Scraft. Good evening. Good evening to everybody. Howdy to folks that are moseying on over from the open stream. Hanging out playing some Modern. Got some Black-White Super Friends going on right now. Got some Sultai Gorios and Just Kai Cat combo coming up after this. I'm unsure if we're going to get all the way through Just Kai Cat combo, but we should definitely be playing Sultai Gorios after this one. The bolt on the spirit token is aggressive, but it's to bring back the art-like, so that makes sense. What's going on, Malt? Thanks for the 8-month resub. Welcome back. The Open radically changed my view of Modern. Nah, Modern is what it always is. Ain't going anywhere, changing anything. Zero Karma, thanks for the brand new Twitch Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. Yeah, I should technically play the Marsh Flats there because they know about it. I gave up some information. You bought 200 Guiltleaf Palaces at $25 a piece or whatever they are. You probably missed your mark. What's my favorite Linux GUI? Moksha and XFCE are the two I usually use. I prefer the lightweight ones in general. Why not field their blue source? Oh, that's a good point. They showed us in game 1 that they didn't have an island in their deck. It's a good call. I forgot about that. Thanks, Colin. We do hate MTG Finance around here, Kitchen Finks. That's why I banned them, to discourage them from being in my chat in the future. Scraft, thanks for the 11-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Magic's expensive enough in general. People making it more expensive so they can profit can go wank off. Let people play Magic. Close to the real sword. Close to the real sword. Submitting my deck for the queue sometime tonight or tomorrow. I've made changes to the list since I sent it for your approval. Do I need to get it reapproved or can I send it as is? So long as the archetype hasn't changed, that's fine. As long as it's the same archetype you submitted previously. All right, if their hand is nothing, we kill them with the Shambling Vent. Free timeouts are underrated. More streams should give them, obviously. We give free timeouts because we care, chat. On most streams, you have to, like, give them money or subscribe to, like, get a streamer to recognize you. Here in Hoaglandia, I recognize and give timeouts from anybody that wants them free of charge. It's a customer service thing, really. I asked for a free time at a different chat, got called. Immature. They probably were upset they got timed out here for not asking for one. Of course, pizza. Mods, battle stations. We mentioned free timeouts. Battle stations, mod, battle stations. Elves is good versus burn on average. They have to, like, start killing your things with their burn spells, which is a sign that they're losing. So this hand's, like, really clunky, and it doesn't have Leyline of the Void in it, so I'm gonna mulligan to try and hit Leyline. Hey, J-Pock, thank you for the 5-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. All right, cast Force of Will. I'm gonna bottom that, looking for another land. How much does it cost to get someone else timed out? It depends on who you want timed out. Yep. Black, white, super friends, Gideon, tribal, black, white, mid-range, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Thoughtseize, this one. This one's free. All right. Show me your handful of cards that do nothing because of Leyline. All right, so I'm taking the Manamorphose there as opposed to Thought Scour because making my opponent fetch out their Steam Vents means I can Field of Ruin them off their blue source. I went to my LGS and told them I wanted a standard meme deck for $50. We made Omnispell Adept to cast Apex of Power and find Omniscience. It seems reasonable. I think I just hold this Collective Brutality here because with Leyline of the Void in play, my opponent's Grixis deck likely can't take it off the table. So if they just, like, cast an Arc-Light Phoenix for 4 mana, it's something that I want to be able to remove. Like, there's a small chance they could have instance or sorcery that I could get there, but it's pretty unlikely. So they only have one basic in their deck, which means this next Field of Ruin just wastelands them. It's like better than wastelands, really, right? Because it doesn't put us down a land. No, I haven't been to a Grand Prix in years. 2016 was the last Grand Prix I went to. I'm playing the 4-color Pyro list you played last week, and it's been a lot of fun. Awesome, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Was that a good draw? I think that was a good draw. The person that submitted that 4-color Pyro list actually added 2 different iterations of it back in. So we'll be getting back to that pretty soon on stream. If not this week, then next. If we can fade Death Shadows, we should end up in an okay spot. No, I wanted the Field of Ruin them. All right, so that should be the game. I played the field, Kelvin. All right, sweet. Well, we're 2-0. Like I said when we started this league, if we keep playing against decks where Damnation and Wrath of God are good cards, we'll probably do all right in the league. If we run into things where those cards, matches where those cards aren't particularly good, we're going to have less of a good time. So keep bringing on the creature-based matchups. Feed me. I'm hungry. Hey, Birdman, thanks for the host. Hope you had a good stream. I read in the papers like you had a complimentary time out here. Of course. Welcome. We have 3 Stony Silences and 4 Damping Spheres, so we can like give ourselves the illusion that we can beat Tron while we lose to it horribly. Chad Tribal is the best of the black-white garbage archetype. Yeah, I think so, Greystar. As someone who plays viewer submissions, like black-white garbage is one of the most commonly submitted decks for Modern for sure. And having played a wide smorgasbord of decks similar to this, I think the Gideon-based builds are the best. I think the Mass Naturalite is going to come up often enough to be reasonable. All right, so we're definitely pathing this. Why Night's Whisper over Sign in Blood? Well, here I'm fetching basic planes, and then I have Field of Runes, so like there's going to be times where you don't have black in your deck with 4 Field of Runes and 2 basic planes in it. So cast your spells. Magic's got enough variance in it that like taking extra risks for low payoffs, like where you're not gonna be able to cast your spells, generally isn't a great idea. I'm always pretty conservative. I fetch a Swamp and Thoughtseize here. It's not amazing, but like, it's fine. Well. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna not path the Grim Lavamancer. We get to... Oh, they're not playing the Eidolons out. Oh, that seems good for us. No, Eidolon seems good for us. I don't know. People keep asking about Arclight Phoenix. I just don't know. It's another linear degenerate thing that you can do in the format full of nonsense linear degenerate things. I don't really know what to say about it. It's probably fine. Will I have Wrath of God to kill Eidolon without taking any damage? Just like, can you Goldfish killing your opponent by turn 4? If yes, your deck's probably fine. If no, maybe go back to the drawing board. Get it faster, get it more linear. Opponent played this well. The fact that they didn't play an Eidolon after I left them with both of them was like really good. I was hoping that their turn 3 would be play Eidolon attack for 1, and then I'd Wrath of God, kill Eidolon and Grim Lavamancer. But the way they've sequenced here has forced me to 1-for-1 my Wrath of God, which makes it pretty significantly worse for me. Brutal. So we need to draw another Wrath of God or a Damnation here. That's nonsense. Just because my opponent makes a good play doesn't mean they're ghosting. Ho, that's a good one. That's a pretty good one, yeah. Oh, we got the skull crack out of him. All right, so now I don't play the Lingering Souls. All my brutalities are in my main deck, right? Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. All right, show me Collective Brutality. Hey, John Side, thanks for the $10 tip. I appreciate that. Sorry, load my dashboard up. First donation of the evening. I don't get the chance to watch live very often. I love your content, especially your explanations. As a relatively new Magic player, you've helped me more than anyone. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it, John. That was a good pickup. I greatly prefer Standard to Modern. The gameplay in Standard is like incredibly interactive right now, and I find it really enjoyable. So we're not pathing the Goblin Guide right away because I want the land to come into play tapped so they can't use it next turn. Also, if I pathed it right away, it would turn on their Searing Blaze so they could kill my Shambling Vent. And I want this to attack me next turn so I can get the Goblin Guide trigger off of it. That's aggressive. I guess this puts me dead to, a couple of things. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. This deck's probably got an okay burn matchup. We have 4 Brutalities, 4 Shambling Vents, and then Lad Chad here. Lad Chad's all about giving them the business. This deck is similar to one that I have in the queue. I used to run Batterskull in the main for match like this after fetching and taking lots of damage, being able to Batterskull Lingering Souls. Yeah, it seems fine, Ribbon. And this deck has 4 Brutality, and this is probably fine. Suspended Riftbolt. No, burn decks generally don't play basic planes. So I'm going to go ahead and make the emblem here. This basically turns Gideon into a gain 3, but I think I'm okay with that. And it makes it so if like we draw a 4 or 5 mana Gideon, the game's basically over. So this Rift Bolt is like almost certainly going to kill Gideon of the Trials here. So while this might not look particularly impressive, this gives them landfall on my turn to kill Shambling Vent, so I have to just pass here. So what we're gonna do here is, unless they draw another fetch land, I'm actually gonna Field of Rune them off the fetch land at end of turn here. So that way they can't have landfall on my turn and we can start attacking with the Shambling Vent again. So they'll get to sacrifice this and go get like, you know, Sacred Foundry, but they then won't have the option to use a fetch on my turn. It puts me down a land, but it lets my Shambling Vent start attacking again here, which is more important. You can always find my latest deck list on my website. They shocked that in. They have Lightning Helix. They have Lightning Helix. I'd rather it hit my Shambling Vent than my face. These running Godless Shrines were not the Gideon I was hoping to draw. Oh, if they have Helix, I'm just dead, right? Yeah, I'm dead. Oh, yeah, I should have just waited. There's no guarantee we win there because like they could have just drawn another burn spell, but yeah, I definitely like half read what they were doing and then messed it up. Definitely half read what they were doing and then messed it up. Our sideboard is not particularly good for burn. I have to leave a bunch of expensive clunky stuff in my deck, which doesn't bode well for us. I guess we have 4 Brutality to like convert those expensive clunky things into something more efficient, but definitely have draws that aren't going to come together well here. Yeah, we had some good back and forth there. They had some good, the opponent had really good sequencing at the start of the game. We had some good top decks to make up for it. And then I think if I would have read into what they did there a little bit better, that I would have been able to pull that out. We went 3-2 with the teamer deck, but we played against 2 Tron players that just like literally didn't do anything. Just like never drew a payoff. Cleansing Nova's not good here, but it's better than all these terrible cards that are in my sideboard. So the way this deck is constructed, it definitely doesn't consider burn as one of its matchups. It's not built in a way that can sideboard well against them. Yeah, this is Gideon Tribal, Black White Super Friends, whatever it is you want to call it. Basic Swamp is a fantastic draw there. So it's Inquisition and Fatal Push this turn, or possibly Inquisition plus Thoughtseize. Taylor Swift Spear. Alright, come to me. One of the moments where Fatal Push is just incredibly better than Path to Exile. I'll put this into play tapped, and then Thoughtseize their Boros Charm here. Swift Spear into Spike coming. A little Skullcrack plus Wear Tear left. Our Gideon will start plussing on Swift Spear here. And then hopefully we'll get to fire up the Shambling Vent before long. The nice thing is that once we find removal for the Swift Spear, the Gideon will close the game out pretty quickly. He starts attacking for 4 after he emblems. Wow, that's an aggressive Skullcrack. Oh, this lets them kill Gideon, right? Because his damage can't be prevented. So it stops Gideon's plus on the Monastery Swift Spear. That makes sense. It also burns the Skullcrack though, so like this Baneslayer Angel can come down and take over the game. Please be aware if you're new to this channel and you want to criticize a decision that's been made with the deck that you're watching on stream, you need to be constructive and specific with your criticisms. You need to say, this is what I'm suggesting we do differently. This is why I'm suggesting we do it differently, etc., etc. Otherwise, you're going to take a quick 10-minute break. All right, so we're done here. Just had a Jeskai opponent on Arena Salt off and used up all their time extensions because they fought over Teferi, lost it, and then I slammed for asking to run away with the game. They are salty, salty monsters, Logoltha. Wait. I'm gonna gain 7 and they're gonna keep playing Magic here? Their last card is Wear Tear. Gain 14-point swing. Go. Yeah, they're probably wanted to hedge Leyline. What useful clicks worth all of our time. Alright, well, we haven't even casted early Collective Brutality yet. So we won that game pretty handily. This next game is the hard game. This is the we're against burn on the draw. I need to try and not get run over with our deck full of 3 and 4 mana spells, so ideally gonna want like discard spell into Brutality here, or push into Brutality. We're 2-0 in this league, right? Sweet. Would cutting Path and adding Heart of Koran? No. Path is the best removal spell in Modern. Don't play less than 4 of it. I think like and so the problem with Heart of Koran in Modern is that Planeswalkers in general mean that if you have a Planeswalker that's living in Modern, you're very likely winning the game because your Planeswalker has lived. So playing this other card that's bad on its own, that's only good when you're already winning the game, is like the definition of a win more card. All right, well, sign me up. This is, real decks have curves, chat. The old Brutality, Lad Chad Sorin curve. Sounds quite fantastical. If we were on the play, I would probably declare can't lose at this point, but we're on the draw, so we could get tempoed out. We could, I guess we also have our second land is tapped, right? So like, we could get from the tapped lands could get us here. We'd really like to hit extra lands on this Goblin Guide. So that way this Brutality is better for us. Am I supposed to bin? I'm definitely full moding the Brutality. The question is, what am I binning other than the Thoughtseize? Is it Sorin? Like, Sorin makes 1/1 lifelinkers every single turn. I'm gonna be greedy and bin the Inquisition here. There's a good chance that, like, they're not gonna have things to Inquisition later. Their hand's really bad. I had to open my mouth, chat. I had to open my mouth and let the words fall out. Yeah, Path there is very, very good for us. This was a good draw as well. One good rip deserves another, right? Have a little back and forth. What does friends mean? Super friends in general, when referring to Magic Gathering, is a vernacular used to refer to planeswalkers. So we're taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here and going to 4. The opponent's at 10 because they fetched Shock twice and took some damage off their own Eidolon. Oh yeah, Brutality did too as well. Good call. Forgot that does that. Would really like to draw a Collective Brutality here so we can take this this path to exile away from them. Now, I think I'm supposed to hope to fade here. So I really want to draw an untapped land here so I can 0 fetch to 0 Cleansing Nova. Yeah, the tap land means I'm dead, right? They have Path and Searing Blaze in their hand, chat. So I emblem here, and if they draw a land or a non, I need them to draw a blank, and then they can't kill Gideon this turn. Yeah, I hope they draw a land. Yeah, because they can't kill Gideon with Path, Blaze, and the 2 creatures they have in play. I can fetch while I'm at 1. I can't fetch while I'm at 0. Yeah, they can't Blaze Gideon if I don't have a creature. Well, they can Blaze their creature, but then that doesn't hit me still. Blaze targets a creature, and then a creature, or then a player or planeswalker that's the same as that creature. So they can't Blaze their creature and Blaze me, or Blaze their creature and Blaze Gideon. So they could Blaze their creature and Blaze themselves to like get a prowess trigger, but that's all they can do. Yeah, it's a neat board state for sure. I think it's also worth noting that the only reason we're in this game of Magic is because my opponent oversideboarded. Like, Path to Exile likely shouldn't be in their deck. Like, if their Path to Exile was just, like, anything that did damage to me, I'd be dead. I mean, like, this isn't really a, like, win the game this turn line, right? That's what the possibility storm things are, things that, like, where you win the game that turn. This is what's the play type moment. Yeah, hopefully Shambles is gonna, like, pull us through kicking and screaming. Do I play the Sorin and make a token? Or do I keep sitting for discard? Yeah, like, I played an Inquisition of Thoughtseize and a Brutality, and I only have 9 discard spells total. So, like, there's only 6 discard spells left in my deck. Yeah, the more draws we give them, the better chance we have of dying. This line loses, we're dead to Boros Charm. We're dead to Boros Charm if I make a token this turn. I'm just gonna down tick this turn because next turn I won't be dead to Boros Charm. Because Gideon will go to 5. What's going on, Corn Chips? Thanks for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So next turn, when I make a token that'll turn on the Searing Blaze, I won't be dead to Boros Charm because Gideon will be at 5 counter, so he won't be removed by Boros Charm anymore. What's going on, Frozen? The weekend formats aren't really defined. They're just kind of whatever's at the top of the queue. And Magic Online has downtime on Wednesday, so I can't do a Modern stream on Wednesday like I normally do. So I figured I'd do Modern tonight. Oh man, is Gideon dead? Not yet. I'm not dead yet. All right, so pretty sure Sorin just sits where he is. Just like, if we just like draw 4 or 5 mana Gideon, we will win the game like that with this Gideon emblem. We're waiting for a Brutality or 4 or 5 mana Gideon. All right, Sorin, time to take one for the team. Time to take one for the team, Lord of Innistrad. You've got a grim nemesis here. We're gonna get skull cracked and die. Okay. Am I dead? 6 mana, gain 5. Your move, Yugi boy. This is all I got. This is all I have. Please don't kill me. This one's been kind of wild. Hopefully they draw a 5th land at some point here. Sorry, a 4th land. We path to exile them this game. Our opponent's only drawn 3 lands this game. Oh, buddy. I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna win. We are actually ahead right now. All right, go. Man, where's a Gideon when you need him? I mean, if they kill Sorin, he drew us 2 cards and he gained 8 life. So, like, sign me up. He's dead, Jim. You got him. Come on. Can we just, like, draw one of our other Gideons to lock this game up? We just like get a Gideon and start upticking it with the emblem. They'll just never win. What's going on, Ronald? Yeah, I'll be doing some more stuff with Nerd Rage next year. Do I just fire up both Steam Vents and attack here? They have Searing Blaze and Path, which means I don't get in this turn, but I'll get in with the 3rd Steam Vents next turn. And like, I'm only going to 5. They could kill me if I do that. Like, if they Blaze Path, it puts me to 5, and they could have a 3 and a 3. And I'm just going to pass for it. I just have so many good draws. You can't push. If you push your Steam Vents in response to Searing Blaze, you still take 3 damage. So you can do that. It's a legal play. You just won't be happy with the outcome. 1 more month and I will be on a year. Will be a year and a sword. Can't wait for the next step of the journey. What's going on, Jesus? Thanks for the 11 months. Just like any brutality or chat is just an absurd draw. Oh, I've only had 1 Gideon in 24 cards. Our opponent's drawn 4 lands in 24 cards. And we've drawn 1 Gideon in 24 cards. Can you just like draw 2 more lands, please? Or like a Goblin Guide or a Monastery Swift Spear. Ding. Deal. That one's fine. Oh, man, I'm awful. Thanks for the 4-month resub. Welcome back. Come on. Give me a Gideon. We have it's a swamp chat. We've got Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Sweating bullets over here. Come on. Come on. You know what the sad part is? Even Field of Ruin at this point would have been a good draw, because we could have fielded their fetch land and then attacked with Shambling Vent the following turn. God bless you, little goblin guide. Hoo-hoo! Hey, Toeman. Thanks for the 12-month resubscription. I knight thee, defender of the realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. We know they have a Blaze and a Path to Exile in their hand. And who knows what else. All right, if we can dodge lethal for one more turn here, and they don't draw another fetch land, we get to crack in with Shambling Vents next turn. What are the odds they have double Searing Blaze here? Non-zero, but low. They've already through one Blaze. They have it and I'm dead. Yeah, they drew the thing. Sure. That's a frustrating end to a otherwise interesting game. That's how Magic goes sometimes. Womp womp. Sometimes there's not a second Gideon in the top 2/3 of your deck. We did make it till turn 20. That's true. It's the little things, right? Slogged it on out. No, we wouldn't have shuffled with Field of Ruin because they would have fetched in response and our Field of Ruin activation would have been countered because it would have lost its target. Rothosaurus Rex, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine here with that. Welcome to everybody, up to almost 1,200 people, over 1,200 people since the open ended. Thanks for hanging out here tonight. Hope you're having a good Sunday, good weekend. Got two more matches with Black-White friends here, and we've got a Sultai Goryo's deck to wrap the night up. Chicago is great. Searing Blaze is one of those cards where, like Green Sun Zenith, where just nobody in Twitch chat that's gonna type a message understands how it works. Just like mono people who are like, why don't you kill your thing in response to them Searing Blazing it, Jeff? Don't you see the line? It's like, well, you're gonna be a very sad individual if you try to do that. Elves is really good, Frenzied Mage. Human, sweet. So not unlosable by any means, but is a matchup that's going to be moderately reasonable for us because we have lots of things that kill creatures, and they conveniently have lots of creatures. It's like siding in Grafdigger's Cage against Live Against Mistake you only make once. Yeah, my favorite is when you do it to someone else, there's like that long pause after it resolves and they take 3 damage and they're like, oh, that is how that works. Nope, no more Traumania. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. probably somewhere, Canklebiter. That sounds like something we did at one point. Hope you're doing well, Cankle. Which Doomblade would you like, opponent? I'm having a sale. And you get a Doomblade, and you get a Doomblade. Everybody gets a Doomblade. I don't know what I've had to get more judge calls on. Trinisphere, Searing Blaze, or Eidolon. Taking Path there is interesting because, like, now I just, like, use the Collective Brutality and get my Path back. I kind of want to play Gideon next turn, but that gets pretty punished if they play, excuse me, Thalia's Lieutenant. Although Fatal Push makes up for that a bit now, so I'm going to go ahead and play Gideon and just plus on here. Even if they play Mantis Rider here and attack my Gideon, I then Brutality the Kitesail Freebooter and then can path the Mantis Rider the following turn. They need, like, running Mantis Riders here. Sure. I'm leaving the Thalia in play here. I could go either way. It might be right to kill her first and just keep plussing on the freebooter. 1 to 2 basic. Some only play a plane, some play a plains and an island. Depends on how much respect they have. Yeah, remember, Lightning Bolt doesn't kill creatures. State-based actions do. Sure. Another freebooter here. It's really not a big deal. Nice, Danon. So they're probably going to take one of my 2 1-mana pieces of removal. I think I likely then use whichever other one they don't use on the Kitesail freebooter and then probably use the second one on the Thalia next turn. So the fact that they took Fatal Push here implies to me that they do have another basic land in their deck. We'll find out here in a hot second when we pull the trigger on this Path to Exile. I'm gonna go ahead and just plus on the Lieutenant so that one threatens to get big. I guess I could theoretically kill all 3 of their things here, right? I could push this, path this, push this. Niv, I'm not good at this whole Twitch thing. How do I stop giving you money for no reason? I guess I'll never know. Thank you for the 7-month tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, like all my things are instants, right? So like I have a hot second here to make decisions. Is this a good sequence, chat? What do we think of this sequence? What do we think of this sequence? Phantasmal image. Kill your board in response. Bye, friend. All right, they've seen enough. A white-black counterspell? I mean, I assume this matchup's not bad for us, but again, just like, I look at the sideboard and like, I have to leave in Thoughtseizes and Night's Whispers in this matchup, and I'm just like really not excited about doing so. Like, the sideboard's just like incredibly narrow. Just Leyline of the Voids and Damping Spheres. Like, if these cards don't have text, I really just don't have a lot going on. Our friend State-Based Actions killed Phantasmal Limits as well. That dude's real rude. He's going around whacking everyone. Buying guilds is the best bet for Arena, because it has all the shock lands in it. Yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to bring in the big creatures. It's like, they're just gonna like leave Reflector Mage in and make me incredibly sad. Deck needs Wall of Omens. Yeah, that card's okay. It's like a piece of soft removal like cantrips. His hand's pretty good against the mono creature deck. I finished in the top 4. We split top 4, which was good for $300 a piece and a box of Ultimate Masters, which I subsequently sold for $250. So good day around overall. Hey, Fat SSBM, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. I said if you're looking to buy into Arena and you're going to put $100 in, I'd recommend buying all Guilds of Ravnica packs with it. I did have fun. I don't know that it's something I'd want to do every weekend again like I used to, but playing Magic, paper Magic every once in a while is a good time. The tournament was in Chicago. It was part of the NRG series. I actually talked with the owner of Nerd Rage, and they're going to be, they're expanding their tournament series next year. Their tournaments are all going to be 5Ks in various places around the Midwest. We're going to be advertising some of their stuff on my stream come the end of the year. Yeah, Modern's not going anywhere. Yeah, it was a $2,000 tournament. It was $2,000 plus a case of Ultimate Masters. Very good price support. Next year they'll be doing a 5K every month in the Chicagoland area and out. I think they go to Wisconsin, somewhere in Iowa, and then Indiana as well as coming down to Bloomington. Yeah, Matt does their commentary. It was a $40 entry fee. And they actually gave everybody a deck box with their entry too, which was nice. And they actually capped their tournament. So it was, they had 100 people. It was I guess they've been capping a lot of their ones at their stores. So it's going to be, next year, all their 5Ks are going to be at rented locations. Nobody shows up to big events on the West Coast. Yeah, and actually the winner of their tournament, they do a players championship style tournament every year. The prizes are a little bit less than they like STG, but like they have like I think it's a 24 player 10K that they do at the end of the year. So the person that won the tournament actually gets to play in their 24 person 10K as well. So there was like more prizes past the $2,000 in the case. Put this towards Amulet Fire. Will do, Zin. Thank you for the bits. As always, if you ever cheer 100 bits and more or donate $1 or more, you can bump a deck in the queue. How do you get your paper decks? People loan them to me. So like actually the 2 decks I have for the Invitational, 2 different subscribers sent them to me because they're wonderful. And just pay for shipping and send them back when they're done. Yeah, Las Vegas is big because it's like a huge ordeal. Like if you look at like SCG Las Vegas, for instance, though, that tournament's always tiny compared to the other opens that happen in the Midwest and the East Coast. So like Vegas is huge because it's usually special and has multiple Grand Prix and all this other stuff. But like actual events that like aren't Grand Prix Vegas that happen on the West Coast tend to be very small. No, my sponsor MTGO Traders hooks me up with all the cards for this. That's why I'm able to play so many different things. I think these decks are fine against creature-based decks, and they're really terrible otherwise. I'm probably going to use 2 separate boxes, Danny, because that box is just too huge to carry around in my backpack. I have a really small backpack that I use at tournaments. So I'm actually going to crack the Field of Ruin on their Cavern and then Fatal Push this Thalia at end of turn because I would like to Wrath of God next turn so that way I can Baneslayer Angel on 5. And this Thalia is going to make my Field of Ruin come into play tap next turn otherwise. We played Sultai Control in Modern a few times. You can find the my latest deck list for it, along with all the videos of us playing it on my website. Click Modern Deck List at the top. They only have 1 card left. There's a good chance this is a concession Wrath of God. Unless they've got, like, Mantis Rider or Militia Bugler or something. Yeah, for whatever reason, the Grand Prix on the West Coast do okay, maybe because they're sparing enough, but like, when people always talk about like, why doesn't SCG come to the West Coast? Like, they used to come to the West Coast, if you remember your history, like, look up the historical data about how small West Coast Opens were in relation to Midwest and East Coast Opens. They were much smaller very consistently, which is the reason why they stopped going. Hey, Equin, thanks for the 15 months, welcome back. I appreciate it. Democracy for Landfall Aggro. Thanks for the support. You can always find my thoughts on a deck list that I've played in the past by clicking on the YouTube video on my channel or on my website, wherever you find it. So at the end of every one of my YouTube videos, I do a wrap-up segment where I talk about the deck that we played and what I liked and what I didn't like and what I would change if we played it again in the future. How big are South events? Dallas consistently has really huge opens. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, like, the East Coast and West Coast, well, this is, well, we're done here. There's a lot of reasons why the East Coast and West Coast, like, have such different sizes, but, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter why. It's just, like, that it is what it is. Yeah, I messed up the Humans match that I lost to, though. This is a good run overall. Yeah, I'm hoping to have fun at SCG-Con this weekend. I'm going to bring my laptop with so I can play some Artifact during my layover. Maybe work on an article or two. When's it going to be played? I don't know yet. Skip Dash. I have to do some Googling. One of them is probably going to end up being a Narset Canon League, but the other two will probably try and find some new things that exist. They're going to get played on Wednesdays, but not this Wednesday because this Wednesday Moto has downtime. I like Artifact as a game a lot personally, but I would be very surprised if Artifact ever became anything more than a niche game. I think the only reason Artifact's going to be, I think if any company other than Valve, who's throwing millions of dollars at Artifact tournaments, had created Artifact, it would have flopped as a game. But I think because Artifact has Valve behind it, it's going to see some amount of success. And I personally enjoy the game, but I don't think it's going to appeal to most people. When am I traveling through Atlanta? Early in the morning. I have like a 3-hour layover from like, I think it's like from 8 to 11. 2 or 3 hours, I forget exactly. Thursday morning. But I mean, like, you have to remember that, like, Valve has FU money, so, like, if Valve just, like, vomits away, you know, millions of dollars, like, keeping Artifact going, like, that's just, like, pennies to them, right? I'm at home until Wednesday, so I'll be streaming a little bit extra between now and Wednesday, and then Thursday morning I leave for the Invitational. Hey, if they're a fair Steam Vents deck, this Lingering Souls is about to be real good. Please be fair. It's fair-ish. Hopefully they don't have mutagenic growth to counter this Collective Brutality. I guess even if they counter the Collective Brutality, there's a good chance, like, when we take a card out of their hand that, that'll keep us from dying. I actually haven't figured out where I'm staying for the Invitational. I was supposed to be staying with another group of people, but I haven't heard back from any of them yet, so I've been messaging around trying to figure out where I'm staying. I have a buddy that lives near SCG who I stayed with previously, so I dropped him a line to see if I could just crash with him again. That might end up being a thing if he's around. Sleight of hand. I guess this technically sees more cards. Whether or not something is worth it to you varies pretty greatly depending on who you are as an individual. Like, what something's worth to me is going to be worth something different to somebody else. Short Fat Friend, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. So people that are a little bit newer to the channel, over the summer, after I qualified for the Invitational by top 8ing the Open, we actually had a donation ticker for people if people wanted to send me to the Invitational. So the reason I'm taking off work for 5 days to go to the Invitational is because a bunch of wonderful Twitch viewers funded the trip, because trips like this are incredibly expensive. Between a plane ticket and the hotel and then time off of work, it all adds up a lot. Would you play Sultai mid-range with your choice of cards at an SCG Dallas Modern Open for $700? Yeah, probably. Maybe. Yeah, probably. The Sultai control deck we worked on stream is like pretty reasonable. I mean, I kind of have PTO Beetle. Like the part of the reason why, like the amount we hit for the donation goal was more than my travel cost to like cover some PTO basically. Isn't that money people would have spent in your deck queue otherwise? Possibly, but not guaranteed, Dubby. And also, like, money that goes into the deck queue, like, my deck queue can only take in a certain amount because I only have so many hours in the week, right? So, like, I can't just, like, make more time for me to stream more decks. Yeah, we took in a total of 1,500 with the specific goal of sending me to the Invitational. If you go back and watch some of the videos from, it's probably July or August, there was a thermometer ticker on the stream for a bunch of it. I guess I could have attacked with these spirits. Oh, well, this is good. So this prevents the damage that this is going to deal, and then this makes it attack, and then my spirits eat it. Yeah, the next Dallas Open is standard, right? Pretty sure. If you're in the Midwest, I was talking about the NRG things like I played this past weekend. I think I'm going to be playing in some of their tournaments starting next year with some more regularity. Because part of the sponsorship deal with them is going to be that they give me free entry. So they're 5Ks with free entry seem like silly not to go to them if they're close by. And a couple of their tournaments are going to be at a water park hotel. So I might just like take the family for the weekend and go. Which is sweet. So their tournaments are only one-day tournaments. This is kind of a sweet racket. Like, we make this not deal damage, we make it attack, we block and kill it. Yeah, they're actually gonna come down to Bloomington for one too. Chadtron, that was basically Chadtron, wasn't it? All right, I'm gonna trim these. Oh, Leyline of the Void's probably good, right? They're a bird deck with stuff like that. They're a bird deck with stuff. Let's bring in Leyline. Sorin's probably a little expensive. I think I want the Wrath of Gods. I'm gonna trim Collective Brutalities. Doesn't kill a whole lot. I guess it kills Kiln Fiend. I'm a liar. Do I not want the Wrath of Gods? Sorin seems kind of bad. Let's do that. So, like, people asking about Damping Sphere, I'm really not a fan of bringing in Damping Sphere against these Phoenix decks. While it can sometimes slow them down, their deck can just kill you slowly. So, like, the Leyline keeps their recursive threats from coming back, which is the card advantage axis, whereas we have a bunch of removal spells to keep ourselves from dying to their multiple spell axis. So I think I'd much rather just do that. Like this, like take your Kiln Fiend and we'll Fatal Push your next thing. It's just like not a big deal. I brought in Ob Nixilis because he's literally just a 5-mana Doomblade. He also like draws cards too if like they don't have a creature to remove, but like he's just a 5-mana card that kills things. So this is really gonna suck if their one unknown is a lightning bolt, but I definitely think I'm supposed to get in here. Yeah, second Leyline not great. They get to play Phoenix here. I'll play Ob Nixilis, down tick, exile the Phoenix. We're going to 16. Actually, I wonder if I'm just supposed to plus him. Now, if I plus him, he dies to another Phoenix regardless. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. One of the things that's awkward about Leyline in non-Faithless Looting decks is like these extra Leylines are just redundant, right? They don't do anything for us. Oh, that's true. They do discard the Brutality. That's fair. Feels bad, man. Woof. Woof. All right. I guess it's technically right to be attacking with this, right? Because, like, they're not going to attack this into here anyways. So, like, if I attack, I effectively gain a health. I, like, gain 2, take 1 on this exchange. Because, like, this blocks for free, but I'm, like, gaining 2 while they're only attacking for 1. See if we draw a removal spell before they flip this thing in the ice. Dear Jeff, if you consider drawing cards with text boxes. Hey, look, they just milled 2 cards that don't do anything. Maybe we'll draw a sweeper now. That's true too. The fact that they got a free block in there means that if we ever draw Brutality, it'll kill the thing in the ice if it hasn't flipped yet. Not that late. It's 8:30. Come on now. This is match 5 of this league, right? Yeah, we're 3-1. We're gonna play one more league after this one. I'm gonna take the Jeskai deck off there. Put that one on the queue for tomorrow. Wrap up with Sultai Goryo tonight. Can't stream too late though, I gotta work in the morning. Goodbye, friend. Oh, shambles. This land always overperforms when we play this deck. Just like consistently excellent. Yep, yeah, I'll be live tomorrow morning as always. I'm live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning. You can always find my schedule and what formats and games I'm playing on which days on my website. Now, tomorrow is going to be Modern again, and then Tuesday and Wednesday will be Standard. Magic Online has downtime on Wednesday morning, so we can't do Modern on Wednesday like we normally do. Yeah, and like the types of decks that play creature lands in Modern are generally like very, very interested in like having a creature land that like stabilizes your health total for you. What a monster. I probably just like fire up Lad Chad next turn and smash for 6. Just get in there. We finally got our friend to cut Bobs from his Jund deck, and when he was kind of shaking his head, why did I wait this long to do this? No, Bobs is great. Yep. Yep. All right. Well, we hit the 4-1. We actually almost 5-0'd. Really close set against Burn overall. If you didn't catch the Burn matchup that we played with this deck, you're definitely gonna want to go back and watch that. It was just like really good quality games of Magic, even though we ended up coming up a little bit short in the end. We hit the 4-1. Like I said when we started this league, like if you play matches where your Damnations and Wrath of Gods have text, you're gonna have a really good time with a deck like this. And if you play, you know, the Tron Storm Amulet Titan half of the field, you're just gonna like die in a blaze. But this is one of the decks where if you really want to play a bunch of Planeswalker, I think this archetype is very reasonable. This is one of the many decks that you can find on my website under the fan favorite section. Look for Black White Super Friends. We played a lot of different iterations of this deck. This specific configuration isn't my preferred build. There's a couple of different small details, the one that's on my site versus this one, but they're all pretty close to the same kind of core of idea of how they're exactly winning the game. All right, so we're gonna wrap the evening up with Sultai Gorios. Get a little bit of combo action to wind down this evening. This is an interesting deck. It's kind of like mid-range combo, is how I would describe it. It's like, got a combo finish in it, but it's also got like this discard spell Tarmogoyf plan going on. Yeah, when I shave, I often shave my beard short-ish like this. It just takes a lot of effort to shave constantly. I don't exactly get graded on my appearance on this channel. Real decks have curves, right? Is this a real deck? It's got a curve-ish. Curve-ish is like the accurate. Anytime I let my beard grow, I look like someone you don't want around your kids. Yeah, I gotta clean up the old neck beard and get a haircut before the Invitational this weekend. I always try and look presentable when I go to Magic tournaments, because like people looking in on Magic tournaments from the outside expect to be presented with certain stereotypes, so I try to do my best not to represent one of those stereotypes. Make the community look good. I'm not really a suit dude. I have like some polos that are nice. I think this weekend I'm going to be wearing, I've got the Hoaglandia branded merchandise. We've got like the Jester t-shirts and stuff that we sell on my website. So I've got a couple of those that I'm going to be wearing. I wish it was more non-gym social acceptance for dudes to go around in yoga pants. I might need to kick Moto before we get started here. This is the 5th league and we haven't restarted, so it's starting to lag a little bit. Let's play the how much RAM is Moto using game question. Survey says 2.6 gigabytes. Sounds like a good time to kick it. How's my day going? My day's swell. Started off the day by going to the gym. We put the Christmas tree up with the kids this afternoon, and then I've been streaming for the last 6 hours or so. Ooh. I'm not gonna do the full show, but I don't like to let people see me log in. It's very private. Moto doesn't offer 2-factor authentication in 2018, so letting people see the length of your password is not a good idea. What do you think of standard Jeskai control without Teferi? Probably bad. Probably bad. On your website, looking at decks, I check your schedule to catch you tomorrow, and I realized I could have been watching you all day. What's going on? Yeah, you should follow on Twitch and Twitter. I always post when I go live. My weekend streams aren't always listed on the schedule because they're kind of impromptu. Although I think I had this one listed, right? Yeah, I did actually.